Hello everybody, welcome back to Sports Cards Connections. This is our final installment of our World Tour series. We will end in the UK, and appropriately enough, I got a shipment that just came in from my friend in London, Laura of LJ's Clubhouse. It's an excellent channel, and we'll see what she got. I just sliced it open. Ooh. Okay, that looks like some Europa League and Champions League stuff. Oh wow, this was totally unexpected. Didn't know it was coming. Obviously, take other measures to get into this one. Okay, scissors are called for. Okay. Oh ho ho. She knows I'm an Angels fan. So, Topps Chrome of Albert Pujols there. Let's see what she's sent along. Pujols, Trout. Ooh, All-Star Game 2019. No, I don't have any of these. Detmers, nope, don't have this. Rodriguez. Oh dear, you shouldn't have. Upton. I do not have that. Is that Heritage or Archives? Either one. It's Heritage. Good. Yeah, I need that one. Need that one. Is that a chrome and a regular? Perfect. Need that one. Need that one. Need that one. Actually got that one, but hey, I'll take it. Oh, and the Barcelona women's team on a Topps Now. That was number 12 out of 99. Wow, Laura. Wow. That's fantastic. See what the other cards are. I never know when something's coming from her. She always has very interesting things she sends. Okay, some Rising Stars. Timo Werner. Star signing. World Superstars. Champions League. Never have seen any of these, let alone have, so wow. This is fantastic. Lewandowski. Okay. Why do people do tattoos? Paul Pogba. Angel Di Maria. Wow. I haven't even seen anything on this set. There's the back format. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Laura. I'll have time to go through those later and get the Angels in my Angel album. And now we'll take a look at some of the cards from the UK. What we've done is take a look at the type of cards from different countries around the world. With England, we'll start with rugby. And we'll take a look at these. These are 1991 from Merlin, which is now Topps UK. There's St. Helens team card. These cards, typical of the early 90s. You got the club logo on the back, the St. Helens Saints. Tells you how many cards are in the set. And then the standard player cards. Here's Adrian Shelford of Wakefield Trinity. And then you get the second picture on the back again with the logo and a little bio and the card number. So this set, you know, it shows up a lot. And I was able to actually get a whole set from a seller in England. Here's a card from 1952. This is actually a tobacco card, and they're blank backed because they were the part of a box. And come on, get that focus. There we go. And this is Ken G. He's an all-time great with Wigan. Wigan, one of the big rugby clubs in England. And this card's from 1952, and it's called Sports Sliders. We're going to be going quick because we got a lot of show at the UK. And then our final one is a 1935 card. This is the Sporting Events and Stars. This is Jimmy Cumberbatch of the Broughton Rangers. He was the first black player to play nationally for England, for England's national rugby team. This card's from 1935. So rugby has a long history in England, along with soccer, but sorry, Laura, football. But it doesn't enjoy the popularity. Soccer's the #1 in England. So that's a little bit of rugby. Next, we'll move on to cricket. And cricket, there's a fantastic set. These are 1959 A and BC. Eventually became a subsidiary of Topps. Topps, during this time, was also doing design things for many of their sets. That's another video, but these have nothing to do with any American design from Topps. This is Trevor Bailey, and here's the back. These are from 1959, and it have who they play for. Play for England, and then his county team is Essex, and it's a 48-card set. Bailey played 20 years for Essex. He's an all-time great, an all-rounder. As it is, he was a great bowler and a great batter. These cards are very colorful and very popular. Second one we'll show is Alan Moss. He was a bowler for bowler for Middlesex in the 50s and 60s. And these cards are really, really nice. Learn a lot about the players on the back. Next we'll go to, hopefully not knocking thing over, 1958, New Zealand national team toured England. And this is their captain, John Reid. This set was put out by Master Vending. It's a 16-card set. I have the set. John Reid's an all-time great. He's an Order of the British Empire recipient. This is the #1 card. And Master Vending they did some boxing, they did wrestling, I think. They did a lot of non-sports cards. But they did this. And the set is not the English teams they played against. It's strictly the New Zealanders, the 16 players on the New Zealand touring team. Next, we'll go back pre-World War II. One of the all-time greats. Most people have heard of Sir Donald Bradman. Here he is. This set is the 1938. And they showed Australian and English players. Of course, Bradman is an Aussie. There we go, I think. Yes, there we go. This is one of his easier cards to get. This set is readily available. Cricketers of 1938. The other player in this set we'll show is Dennis Compton. Now, Compton was an all-time great cricketer, but he was also a starting player for Arsenal. So he was a two-way. He was a Bo Jackson. So he, and there's been other players other than Jackson. He just got all the run in the news. But, yeah, Compton played for both. On the back you can see perhaps down there a very smart, what does it say? Well, fieldsman. He bowls slow left hand and in the winter plays outside left for Arsenal. So there's Dennis Compton. He's an all-time great in cricket. His brother also played with him on Arsenal. Next, we go to 1935 sporting events set. And this is Hedley Verity. Look him up sometime and read about him. A quiet, gentlemanly type. But he holds a record that he set 81 years ago as a slow bowler. You know, he wasn't a speed bowler. Slow bowler. He got 10 wickets while surrendering only 10 runs. You know cricket, you know that's next to impossible. Well, you can see he did it, and it hasn't been done since. He still holds a record. Verity, unfortunately, died in World War II. He was put in command of a platoon that was in full retreat against the Germans in Italy, and he was hit by some shrapnel and left on the field, ordering his men to keep going. The Germans retrieved him from the field, did surgery in a field hospital in Italy, got him to a regular hospital, but he didn't make it. His story is sad, but he was really, really an all-time great. I'd like to get any card I can find of Verity. From that same set, Sir Jack Hobbs, one of the all-time cricket superstars, had a 30-year career. Many consider him the greatest batsman. And there he is in full form. Hobbs appears in a lot of sets from that era. And finally, we'll go back a few years beyond that, all the way back to 1901. This is A.G. Steele, Allen, and come on, he actually had retired after 1893. He played from 1877 to 1893, an all-rounder. He played in the first ever test match for England on the English national team, and had a very interesting life story. Some of his brothers also played. And he actually went forward at a Dwight L. Moody evangelistic meeting. This is in Ogden's. You'll see Ogden's did these massive sets for people from all walks of life. I mean, Queen Victoria's in some of these cards. I mean, in theory, you might have been able to get the Queen to sign one. She was still on the throne. But Steele, here he is. That's my oldest cricket card, 1901, an all-time great and Hall of Fame type player for American thinking anyways. That's how we tend to look at it. So we'll see if we know he's going to fall. Let's move Steele back here. And we'll switch to the game most people identify the UK with, which is soccer. So what I want to do on those is show types. All these are types, of course, but types that are more readily available. So we'll start newer and work backwards. So if you're interested in getting involved and starting to collect soccer, I know a lot of people are running after the new stuff. They say, "Oh, did I get this guy? Did I get that guy? Did I get Ronaldo? Did I get Messi?" Well, you can start with something a lot less costly and learn the teams, learn the history. This is ProSet they did a couple of years worth. This is 1990. And that's John Thorne of Crystal Palace, or not John Thorne, Andy Thorne of Crystal Palace. These cards are readily available, and you can get unopened boxes still, and it's a good way to start without spending any money, and you can really start to learn the players and the teams. This set contained all 4 of the English divisions. Of course, just 1 or 2 players for a lot of the teams. But anyways, the one with the name stripe, that's the 1990. If there's no stripe, that's the 1991. In 91, they also did Scotland. You'll know by the blue and white logo and just the soccer ball logo up there. Back looks the same. Neil Simpson of Motherwell. This is a 100-card set for the Scottish League, done in 91. And the exact same format as England. In the 91s, they went with the plain front. Come on. And this is one of the lower division. See, this is Bobby Barnes of Northampton. They're way down. And the color will tell you what division. I think Northampton at this time was 3rd or 4th. And so that's a 91. The second series of which this card are very hard. What happened was ProSet started getting into the financial trouble that eventually led to their downfall after the first series of 91s and the Scottish set of 91 have been released. The second series is printed in far fewer quantities and just doesn't show up that much. So now we'll take a look at some more types. Merlin had a lot of sets in the 90s. Here's Brian McClare of Manchester United. And these cards include stats. These are 1995s. There's a lot of these types of sets out there. A company called Magic Box came along and had their shootout sets. These really help people build basic sets. This is 2004, Laurent Robert from France playing for Newcastle. A lot of times they will identify them by the color back, but back color. These are the 04s and the 05s Gael Clichy of Arsenal when they wore kind of the maroon rather than their usual red and white. They have the red backs. Don't fall. 06, the look was like this. Emile Heskey here for Wigan Athletic. There are the yellows. They also did, I know they did Holland. They may have done some other countries too. They lost their contract to Topps. Topps took over in 07. And here we go with the Match Attacks. Massively popular. They're still doing them, but just for the Champions League. They lost the Premier League contract to Panini, who does Adrenaline. So, a brief view. There's the red backs. There's a older year, too, of the an 03 on the shootouts, but I don't have any. They're kind of harder to get. James Milner of Aston Villa. Those are the blues. The orange. You see, they've never really changed much on the format, but they're collectible cards. You learn a lot about the players, and you can get a lot of cards for a lot of different teams. Marcus Hahnemann, American goalie for Wolverhampton. That's the greenbacks. Let me stick him over here. Shola Amiobi, Newcastle. They started getting more and more elaborate on the front, and I think it really took away from the design. Some of them really got wild. They're putting too much stuff on there. But anyways, they did print a lot of players. There'd be an update set. So here we get into this the lightning bolt thing and more stats down the middle. When if you're going to play the card game, it's just the 61 and the 40 down there. And other stuff's irrelevant. So that's the lightning bolt version. Yeah, somebody's going to fall. And there they went. Oh, phooey. This has the honeycomb look. Is what they would call in an art class a little too busy. Andrew Taylor of Cardiff City. The year they were up. See if I can get that one to stand. So you see, basically the format didn't change through the run. They just kept going. But very popular. Readily accessible to help you learn players and teams if you're non-European. And they did go with the wild purple ones here. I gave you a totally different look. Back didn't. And then we had some blue. Michael Carrick. We switch to Adrenaline from Panini. Of course, they do many leagues. The biggest card maker in the world. Here's Harry Kane for Tottenham Hotspur. Again, similar to Match Attacks, you're not going to get a lot of format change. Before Panini got the English contract, they also had Scotland. Here's Lee Naylor of Celtic. They would call that set Super Strikes. It's a real nice set. I haven't completed it. Better start laying guys down. I got too many. James MacArthur of Hamilton Academicals. Great name. And the backs will be coded by the position the player played. Now we're going to start going back a little bit. One of the main manufacturers of the 80s was FKS. They made very thin cards that went in albums, but they were very popular. This is your basic format. Here's Bobby Gould of Wolverhampton, mid-70s. A lot of them are blank-backed. And you can oftentimes get these in big lots. Sometimes they've been pulled out of albums, so they'll have glue marks on the back. One year they were more of a card stock. These are not. These are more of a Panini stock. One of them just bailed out. Let's bring him back into the fold here because that's an important card. The great Johan Cruyff. Now, this year, this year they put stuff on the back. Soccer 81. They printed a lot of European players playing in the North American Soccer League, of which Cruyff was with the Washington Diplomats. That's why the American flags. That picture is when he was with Barcelona. but it's one of the only Cruyff cards I have. And I was really hoping they had some NASL photos because, you know, the NASL had nothing. They had some team-issued sets. So there's the great Cruyff. He was available. Now we'll take a look at Topps 1979, which looks like the 78 U.S. football. Jerry Gow of Bristol City. Backs were blue. Backs are different than the American version. I'll set them over there. And the Scottish set, here's John Mara Partick Thistle, had the red backs. So Topps would have an English and soccer set every year. These are 79 and 78. Another type of card you'll see in the UK a lot are Barrett's or Bassett, little candy stick cards. This is Ian Bowyer of Nottingham Forest, 1978. They came in little boxes, usually one card per. Continuing on, looking like the 77 American football is the 78 soccer. Here's Graham Souness of Middlesbrough. Backs are the orange and white. And there went half the people. We'll just keep going. The 76 baseball is featured on the design for the front of these. Backs are totally different. Paul Mariner of Ipswich. That's the 77s, the 76 baseball look. The 76s didn't borrow from a Topps American set. Ray Clements, the great goalie of Liverpool. Backs were blue. And, you know, you can get these in lots. Sometimes a lot more show up than don't. The 75s are the same as the 75 baseball. Here's Rory McFarland of Derby County. That's the back. But you obviously can see the any Americans who know the popular 75 baseball set. Come on, let's get that focused. There we go. Rory McFarland, a big star for them, for Derby. 74s, it was a yellow set. Dave Clements of Everton here. And one of the problems with this set is that's a nice card, but some of them are headshots that really are just his face. I don't know what whoever did that was thinking. But anyways, that's a nice card. Here's that's why I hate using these stands. Oh well. This set, the football quiz set by Anglo Confectionery, is unusual in that the players are from all four divisions. There's 84 cards. It's no rhyme nor reason. Here we have Ron Fenton of Brentford, who was nowhere near the top at that time. So these cards are they're different. They give you a different set of players and teams. The great Bobby Moore, one of the all-time greats. Here he is with West Ham. Now, this set was interesting because these are my favorite soccer stars. They did them in 69, then they brought them back 2 years later in 71. The 69s have the blue backs, the 71s have the red backs. So there's the all-time great Bobby Moore. Speaking of all-time greats, now this is the Nabisco set, and here's Bobby Charlton of Manchester United. And one of the interesting things about this card is, if you can read the first line, Bobby Charlton are the best known words in the English language. Wow. That's quite a hill to climb. Anyways, the great Charlton, there he is with Manchester United. 69 Topps looks like 68 American and Canadian football. Here's Terry Hennessy of Nottingham Forest. It's my all-time favorite design on cards, by the way. There's the back. This set, very popular. At, I believe, 3 series. The 68s. Banging that. Here we go. Gordon Banks, one of the greatest goalies ever. Best nickname, the Bank of England. Nobody beat Gordon Banks, kind of a thing. Anyways, here he is. These are the 68s. He's with Stoke City. Made a very famous save against Pele in the 1970 World Cup that Pele said he didn't know how Banks did it. But that's his 68 card. Give him a place of prominence. The 67s have kind of an unusual little logo, says Star Players. This is George Cohen of Fulham. That's the back. It's only 66 cards in this set. They had taken 1966 off. Who knows why. Came back in 67 with this set. 1963 looked like you have the 62 baseball look with the wood grain and the peeled back photo. The backs are like 1961 American and Canadian football. So they combine different Topps designs. This was very common with AMBC cards. Here's a 1960 using the 1959 baseball look. Jock Davidson of Hull City, the Hull City Tigers. The backs, however, were 59 NFL and CFL back. So these cards are really great. I love the AMBC versions of the Topps designs. Next, we'll take a look at a player that is just, his lifetime stats are unreal, and that's Sir Stanley Matthews. He played from 1932 to 1965. I mean, wow. This is a Cadet Suites card. He's with Blackpool. I mean, you think this is a 59. Okay, he'd already been playing 27 years. Here he is in 1961. The A and B C set went black and white that year. And blank backed. 1963, he had returned to Stoke. This set issued in a magazine, Star Footballer, some Tiger magazine. And then we'll jump way back to the 1930s with a Wills Tobacco, a 1939 card, obviously much younger. Last set issued before World War II, shut everything down. So that was a little Sir Stanley Matthews from the late 30s to the mid 60s. This set can show up a lot, Churchman. And you can get these and really have some older cards for not much of a cost. These are from 1938 as well. And that's Stanley Cullis of Wolverhampton. So trying to imagine, actually that shirt would be bright gold yellow. Pants are black. Dropping a little further back, 1927. It's the one sport where you can get royalty on a card. There's the King of England, shaking hands with the players from Cardiff who are about to play in the FA Cup final, which they won in an upset. So that's King George V. This is a Gallagher tobacco set, 1927. Footballers in action. The FA Cup final. 2 cards to go. We'll drop back to 1922 to a popular format. This is Clem Voysey of Arsenal. And these are issued with kids' magazines. And they did a lot of cards that way. It was very common in England. Then they colorized them to the Arsenal red uniform. So I have a number of these. They're not that difficult to get, even though it's from 1922, 101 years ago. So there he is, Clem Voysey, center for Arsenal. And our last card for this show, we'll take a look at Sam Raybould of Liverpool. Yes, it's seen better days, but the card's from 1902. And this is a Wills tobacco, tobacco card. And apparently it doesn't want to cooperate. Come on, wake up. There we go. So yeah, you can get as you see, the major sports in the UK, soccer, cricket, and rugby, actually all the way back to the 1800s, early 1900s. So that just gives you a look at some of the types of cards available in the UK. Fascinating place. You could collect just UK and never run out of things to get. That completes our tour of the world based on sports cards. Next time, we're going to take a look at a top set that they printed half of it wrong, part of it in miniature, and it was just a real flub up. Yet it's a very popular set, and I love it. So we'll see that next time. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you then. And thanks, Laura, for those cards. Bye.